I think I know the real reason you're not where you want to be financially. It has nothing to do with the economy. It has nothing to do with your education level. It has nothing to do with your background or where you grew up. The real reason you're struggling with money is happening between your ears right now. Your thoughts about money are creating your financial reality. And if you're like most people, those thoughts are working against you every single day. You've been programmed with beliefs about money that are keeping you stuck, and you don't even realize it's happening. What if I told you that every wealthy person thinks about money completely differently than broke people? What if I told you that your money mindset is the single most important factor determining your financial success? And what if I told you that you can change this mindset starting today? This isn't about positive thinking or wishful dreaming. This is about understanding the psychology behind wealth creation and how your subconscious beliefs about money are either building your wealth or destroying it. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how your thoughts create your financial reality, and more importantly, how to reprogram your mind for abundance and success. Let me start with a story that changed everything for me. 5 years ago, I was making decent money, but I was always stressed about finances. I had this constant fear that there wasn't enough. I'd check my bank account multiple times a day. I'd hesitate before every purchase, even small ones. I believed that rich people were greedy or lucky, and that regular people like me weren't meant to have real wealth. Then I discovered something that completely shifted my perspective. I learned that my relationship with money wasn't based on reality. It was based on programming I'd received as a child, programming that was keeping me broke. Once I understood this and started changing my money mindset, everything changed. My income tripled, my stress around money disappeared, and opportunities started showing up everywhere. So what exactly is a money mindset? Your money mindset is the collection of beliefs, thoughts, and feelings you have about money. It's your unconscious programming that determines how you earn, spend, save, and invest money. It controls every financial decision you make, often without you even knowing it. Here's what most people don't understand. Your money mindset was formed when you were very young, probably before you were 8 years old. You absorbed beliefs about money from your parents, your family, your culture, and your early experiences. These beliefs became your truth about money, even if they're completely wrong. Maybe you heard your parents fighting about money and decided that money causes problems in relationships. Maybe you grew up hearing that rich people are bad or that money is the root of all evil. Maybe you experienced financial stress as a child and developed the belief that there's never enough money to go around. These early experiences created your money programming, and unless you've consciously worked to change it, that same programming is running your financial life today. It's why some people can make a lot of money but always seem to lose it. It's why others stay stuck at the same income level for years. It's why smart, talented people often struggle financially, while others with less education or skill become wealthy. If you're finding value in understanding this connection between your thoughts and your financial reality, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss any of our content on transforming your mindset and creating the life you actually want. Now let's talk about the two main types of money mindset that determine your financial destiny. There's the scarcity mindset and the abundance mindset. Understanding these two mindsets is absolutely critical because they create completely different financial realities. The scarcity mindset is based on the belief that there's not enough money to go around. People with this mindset see money as limited. They believe that if someone else has money, that means there's less for them. They focus on lack, limitation, and fear. They think thoughts like, there's never enough money, I can't afford that, money doesn't grow on trees, or I have to work hard for every dollar. This mindset creates a lot of stress and anxiety around money. People with scarcity thinking often hoard money because they're afraid of not having enough. They undercharge for their services because they don't believe they deserve more. They avoid investing because they're terrified of losing money. They compete with others instead of collaborating because they think success is a zero-sum game. The abundance mindset is completely different. It's based on the belief that there's more than enough money for everyone. People with this mindset see money as flowing and unlimited. They focus on opportunity, growth, and possibility. They think thoughts like, there's always enough money, I can afford anything I truly want, money flows to me easily, or I create value and receive wealth in return. This mindset creates excitement and confidence around money. People with abundance thinking invest in themselves and others because they trust in growth and expansion. They charge what they're worth because they know their value. They take calculated risks because they see opportunities everywhere. They collaborate with others because they know everyone can win together. Here's the thing that might shock you. These aren't just different ways of thinking. These mindsets create completely different behaviors, and those behaviors create completely different results. Your mindset literally determines your financial reality. Let me give you some real examples of how this works. Sarah had a scarcity mindset around money. She was a talented graphic designer, but she always undercharged for her work. She'd quote a price, then immediately offer a discount because she was afraid the client would say no. She kept her money in a savings account, earning almost nothing because investing felt too risky. She worked constantly, but never seemed to get ahead financially. When Sarah started working on her money mindset, everything changed. She realized she'd been taught that asking for money was greedy. She learned to value her skills and charge appropriately. She started investing in index funds and real estate. Within 2 years, her income had doubled and her net worth had tripled. Same person, same skills, completely different mindset and results. Then there's Marcus, who had an abundance mindset even when he didn't have much money. He was a server at a restaurant, but he always looked for ways to create additional income streams. He invested in every extra dollar he could save. He networked with successful people and learned from them. He saw opportunities where others saw obstacles. He started a side business that eventually replaced his restaurant income. Today, he owns multiple businesses and has achieved financial independence. The difference between Sarah and Marcus wasn't talent, education, or luck. It was their money mindset. Sarah was operating from scarcity and creating scarcity. Marcus was operating from abundance and creating abundance. So where does your money mindset come from? Understanding this is crucial because you can't change what you don't understand. Your money mindset comes from 3 main sources. First is your family upbringing, your parents. Beliefs about money became your beliefs about money. If your parents stressed about money, you probably stress about money. If they believed rich people were bad, you probably have negative associations with wealth. If they fought about money, you might believe money causes relationship problems. The second source is cultural messages. Our society sends mixed messages about money. We're told money doesn't buy happiness, but we need money for everything. We're told to be grateful for what we have, but also to always strive for more. We're told money isn't important, but everything in our world requires money. These conflicting messages create confusion and internal conflict around money. The third source is your personal financial experiences. Maybe you had a business fail and decided entrepreneurship is too risky. Maybe you lost money in the stock market and decided investing is gambling. Maybe someone you trusted took advantage of you financially, and you decided you can't trust anyone with money. These experiences create beliefs that may have been protective at the time, but are now limiting your financial growth. Here's what's important to understand. None of these beliefs are necessarily true. They're just programming, and programming can be changed. The first step is becoming aware of your current money mindset, so you can start shifting it. Let me walk you through a simple self-assessment that will help you identify your dominant money mindset. I want you to really think about these questions honestly. Don't give the answer you think you should give. Give the answer that reflects how you actually feel. First question, how do you feel when you spend money? Do you feel guilty, anxious, or worried? Do you second-guess purchases? Do you feel like you need to justify every expense? If so, you likely have some scarcity programming around spending. People with abundance mindsets feel good about spending money on things that add value to their lives. Second question, how do you feel when you receive money? Do you feel grateful but also worried about how long it will last? Do you immediately think about all the bills you need to pay? Do you feel like you don't deserve it? If so, you have scarcity programming around receiving. People with abundance mindsets feel grateful and excited when money comes to them. Third question: what's your first thought when you see someone driving an expensive car or living in a beautiful home? Do you think they must be in debt, or they're showing off, or they must have gotten lucky? If so, you have negative associations with wealth. People with abundance mindsets see wealthy people and think, that's possible for me too. Fourth question: when you think about your financial future, what emotions come up? Do you feel anxiety, worry, or fear? Do you think about all the things that could go wrong? Do you focus on not having enough for retirement? If so, you're operating from scarcity. People with abundance mindsets feel excited and confident about their financial future. Fifth question: how do you talk about money? Do you say things like, I can't afford that, money doesn't grow on trees, or I'm not good with money? If so, you're reinforcing scarcity beliefs every time you speak. People with abundance mindsets use language that reflects possibility and growth. If you're recognizing scarcity patterns in your answers, don't worry. Most people have been programmed with scarcity beliefs about money. The good news is that awareness is the first step to change. Once you can see these patterns, you can start shifting them. Now let's talk about how your money mindset directly impacts your behavior, because this is where the rubber meets the road. Your mindset creates your thoughts create your feelings drive your actions, and your actions create your results. This is why mindset work is so powerful. When you change your mindset, you automatically change your results. People with scarcity mindsets engage in behaviors that create scarcity. They undercharge for their services because they don't believe they deserve more. They avoid investing because they're afraid of losing money. They hoard cash because they're worried about the future. They compete instead of collaborate because they think there's not enough success to go around. They stay in jobs they hate because they're afraid they can't find anything better. People with abundance mindsets engage in behaviors that create abundance. They charge what they're worth because they understand their value. They invest in appreciating assets because they trust in growth. They spend money on things that will generate returns. They collaborate with others because they know everyone can win. They take calculated risks because they see opportunities everywhere. Let me share a specific example of how this plays out. Two people both want to start a side business. The person with a scarcity mindset thinks about all the ways it could fail. They worry about the time and money investment. They're afraid of what people will think if it doesn't work. They spend months researching and planning, but never actually start because they're waiting for perfect conditions that never come. A person with an abundance mindset thinks about all the ways it could succeed. They see the investment as paying for their education and growth. They're excited about the possibilities. They start quickly with a simple version and improve as they go. They view any setbacks as learning experiences that make them smarter and stronger. Same opportunity, completely different approaches, completely different results. The scarcity person stays stuck. The abundance person builds a successful business. This is the power of money mindset in action. Here's another example that really illustrates this difference. Let's say both people receive an unexpected $1,000 bonus. The scarcity-minded person immediately thinks about bills they need to pay, or puts it in savings, earning almost nothing because it feels safe. The abundance-minded person might pay off high-interest debt to improve their financial position, or invest it in learning a new skill, or put it towards starting that business they've been thinking about. The scarcity person uses the money to maintain their current situation. The abundance person uses the money to improve their future situation. Over time, these different approaches create dramatically different financial outcomes. I want you to understand something important here. This isn't about being reckless with money or ignoring financial reality. Abundance-minded people are often better with money than scarcity-minded people because they're not paralyzed by fear. They make decisions based on logic and opportunity rather than emotion and fear. If you're starting to see how your own money mindset might be affecting your financial results, I encourage you to share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Sometimes the people we care about most are struggling financially, not because they lack opportunity, but because they have limiting beliefs about money that are holding them back. Now let's talk about some specific ways scarcity and abundance mindsets show up in different areas of your financial life. Understanding these patterns will help you identify where you might need to shift your thinking. When it comes to earning money, scarcity-minded people often undervalue themselves. They accept whatever salary they're offered without negotiating. They don't ask for raises or promotions because they're grateful just to have a job. They undersell their products or services because they're afraid customers won't pay more. They work more hours instead of finding ways to add more value. Abundance-minded people know their worth and aren't afraid to ask for it. They negotiate salaries and ask for raises based on the value they provide. They price their products and services based on the results they deliver. They focus on increasing their value and skills so they can command higher prices. They work smarter, not just harder. When it comes to spending money, scarcity-minded people often make decisions based on fear. They buy the cheapest option, even if it costs more in the long run. They avoid spending money on things that could improve their earning potential. They feel guilty about spending money on themselves. They focus on saving money rather than investing in growth. Abundance-minded people make spending decisions based on value and return on investment. They buy quality when it makes sense. They invest in education, skills, and experiences that will improve their lives. They spend money on things that bring them joy without guilt. They understand that some spending is actually investing. When it comes to investing, scarcity-minded people are often paralyzed by fear of loss. They keep money in low-yield savings accounts because it feels safe. They avoid the stock market because they're afraid of volatility. They don't invest in themselves through education or skill development. They focus on not losing money rather than growing money. Abundance-minded people understand that not investing is the riskiest investment of all. They educate themselves about different investment options. They start investing even with small amounts because they understand compound growth. They invest in themselves first because they know that's the best investment they can make. They focus on growing their money over time. This brings me to something crucial that I want you to really understand. Your money mindset affects every area of your life, not just your finances. Money touches everything: your career choices, your relationships, your health, your stress levels, your confidence, your life satisfaction. When you change your money mindset, you change your entire life. People with scarcity mindsets often stay in jobs they hate because they're afraid they can't find anything better. They settle for less in relationships because they don't believe they deserve better. They stress about money constantly, which affects their health and happiness. They make decisions based on fear rather than possibility. People with abundance mindsets pursue careers that fulfill them because they trust in their ability to create success. They build relationships with people who support their growth and dreams. They maintain better health because they're less stressed about money. They make decisions based on their values and vision rather than fear. Let me tell you about Jennifer, who completely transformed her life when she changed her money mindset. She was working as an administrative assistant, making barely enough to cover her bills. She wanted to become a life coach, but was terrified of leaving her stable job. She had all the classic scarcity thoughts. What if I fail? What if I can't make enough money? What if people think I'm crazy for trying? When Jennifer started working on her money mindset, she realized these fears were just programming from her childhood. Her parents had always chosen security over opportunity. They'd taught her that taking risks was dangerous and that she should be grateful for whatever she had. Jennifer began changing her internal dialogue. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, she started focusing on what could go right. Instead of seeing her coaching business as a risk, she started seeing her current job as the real risk because it would never give her the life she wanted. She started her coaching business as a side hustle while keeping her day job. She invested in training and marketing. She charged premium prices because she understood her value. Within 18 months, her coaching income had surpassed her day job income. She quit her administrative job and now runs a six-figure coaching business. But here's the most important part. Jennifer didn't just change her finances. She changed her entire life. She's more confident. She's in a better relationship. She's healthier and happier. She's living according to her values instead of her fears. This is what happens when you transform your money mindset. So how do you actually change your money mindset? The first step is awareness, which you're already developing by watching this video and doing the self-assessment. You can't change what you're not aware of. The second step is challenging your limiting beliefs. When you catch yourself thinking scarcity thoughts, ask yourself if they're actually true. Is there really not enough money to go around? Are rich people really bad? Is investing really gambling? Most of these beliefs won't stand up to logical examination. The third step is replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of thinking money is hard to make, think money flows to me when I provide value. Instead of thinking rich people are greedy, think wealthy people are generous and successful. Instead of thinking I'm not good with money, think I'm learning to be excellent with money. The fourth step is taking action from your new mindset. Start small, but start. If you've been undercharging, raise your prices. If you've been avoiding investing, start with a small amount. If you've been staying in a job you hate, start exploring other options. Your actions need to match your new beliefs. The fifth step is surrounding yourself with abundance-minded people. The people you spend time with have a huge impact on your mindset. If you're surrounded by people who complain about money and believe in limitation, it's hard to maintain an abundance mindset. Find people who think bigger and believe in possibility. I want to share one more story that really illustrates the power of changing your money mindset. Michael was a talented software developer who was making good money but felt stuck. He had plenty of technical skills, but he had limiting beliefs about business and sales. He thought selling was sleazy and that he had to choose between doing work he loved and making good money. Michael's scarcity mindset was keeping him employed but not wealthy. He was trading time for money with no leverage. He was afraid to start his own company because he didn't want to deal with sales and marketing. When Michael started shifting his money mindset, he realized that sales and marketing weren't about being sleazy. They were about connecting with people who needed his help and communicating the value he could provide. He started seeing business as a way to help more people, not just make more money. Michael founded a software consulting company. He learned to communicate his value clearly and charge premium prices. He built systems so he wasn't just trading time for money. He hired other developers so he could scale beyond his own hours. Today, he runs a multi-million-dollar software company and has achieved financial independence. Same person, same technical skills, completely different mindset and approach. Michael went from being an employee with a salary cap to being an entrepreneur with unlimited potential. This is what's possible when you understand that your thoughts create your wealth. Here's what I want you to understand as we wrap up. Your current financial situation is not permanent. It's just a reflection of your current money mindset and the actions that flow from that mindset. When you change your mindset, you change your results. You don't need more money to start building wealth. You need a better money mindset. You don't need perfect conditions to begin improving your financial situation. You need to start thinking and acting like someone who deserves and expects financial success. The wealthy people you admire aren't fundamentally different from you. They don't have access to secret information or special opportunities that you don't have. They just think about money differently than most people. They have abundance mindsets that create abundant behaviors that create abundant results. You can develop this same mindset. You can start thinking and acting like a wealthy person starting today. You can begin to see opportunities where you used to see obstacles. You can start investing in yourself and your future instead of just maintaining your current situation. Remember, awareness is the first step to transformation. Now that you understand how your money mindset works, you can begin to consciously shape it. You can choose thoughts that serve your financial goals rather than thoughts that sabotage them. Your relationship with money is one of the most important relationships in your life. Like any relationship, it requires attention, understanding, and intentional development. When you feel your relationship with money, You heal your relationship with abundance, success, and your own potential. I encourage you to watch our other videos on wealth creation and personal development. We have detailed content on specific strategies for building wealth, developing an abundance mindset, and creating the life you actually want. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our content. If this video has helped you see your money mindset in a new way, please share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Sometimes the people we care about most are struggling financially, not because they lack ability, but because they have limiting beliefs that are holding them back. Your thoughts create your wealth. Your mindset determines your financial destiny. And the beautiful thing is, you have complete control over both. Start thinking like the wealthy, successful person you're meant to be. Start acting from abundance instead of scarcity. Start believing that you deserve financial success and happiness. The life you want is possible. The wealth you desire is achievable. And it all starts with understanding and transforming your relationship with money. Your financial transformation begins with your mindset transformation. And that transformation can begin right now.